Andrew, a couple on the Karaka Millions 3-year-old classic this weekend, Yeldy and Retro Star. First of all, how's Yeldy come through Ellerslie the other day?
Very well. He's improving all the time. I think mentally he gets better every time he turns up to the races, so no, looks to have come through it really well.
And it's a race that really has fallen away. He's a big player in this race, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is. He just probably dependent on tempo as much as anything. Up to the mile is a question mark, but if it's strongly run and he's got horses to chase, he'll run well.
What have you asked of him in the week leading up to Saturday?
He had a good gallop in company Tuesday morning with Retro Star. They both worked really nicely, and he'll just have a final gallop Thursday morning.
Just talk to us about Retro Star and up-and-comer. How do you rate him?
Yeah, he worked very hard the other day at Ellerslie early. Just did a lot of work that first 600 metres. I think back in trip, if it's truly run, he can just take a position behind the speed. He's certainly capable. He's a 2-win horse, and if he runs up to his best form and things go for him, he's a top 5 or 6 chance.
What are you expecting of your pair here?
Look, we just hope that, obviously the mile for Yeldy's a little bit of the question mark, but on ability he's well up to winning, so just hopefully the races run truly and they get their chance.
Mary Shane heads to the Aotearoa Classic. A really good run, the Richardson mile, without a lot of luck. How's she come through that?
Yeah, not much luck at all. Again, she's come through it great. We've just kept her ticking over. Once she's up and racing, she's not a hard horse to keep fit. I guess we just hope again that it's a truly run race and she gets her chance.
What does her week look like leading into it?
She just had a gallop by herself Tuesday morning. She won't do a lot, and then probably have a quiet gallop again by herself on Thursday.
Okay, in that race she has to be a player, obviously. There's some big names, but she's one of them, really, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's performed at a high level before. Obviously, if Orchestral's at her best, she'll be hard to beat, but outside of that, I think it's very open.
Kitty Flash, really good run, the Living Classic last time. You dropped back to 1,200 metres for the Ellerslie Trophy. Just tell us about the thinking there.
Yeah, that's the trick, I guess. Well, we're looking forward to what's going to suit her best. I think she's probably a 1,400 metre horse, but looking ahead to what races there were, we thought, well, if she was competitive in this or even was able to win it, it means she is Kiwi bonus eligible. I suppose that's something to consider, and yeah, I think there's probably a run for her before a Kiwi if she was to end up going down that path. But I think she is probably a 1,400 metre horse, maybe a miler on a good track.
I guess it means you've been fairly light on her in the time leading up to this one.
Yeah, she hasn't done much at all. Just had a quiet gallop by herself this morning, and that'll be about it.
What can you expect of her in that race?
I think it's going to be a big enough field, so hopefully, again, that it's truly run. Dropping back from the 14 is hard. It's not going to be easy for her, but I'd like to see her settle off them a bit, and hopefully she chases them hard. She's run well at the track.
7-3 in the Karaka Millions 3-year-old classic this weekend, and it's a pretty formidable trio as well. Let's start with Bourbon Proof. He looks to be an up-and-comer. Really good win the other day.
Yeah, he is a real up-and-comer. He's just had his final gallop this morning. McNabb in the saddle. I thought he galloped up as good as I've seen. So visor blinkers go on. I just think it'll sharpen him enough. But he goes into the race in great order.
He's come through that win to your satisfaction?
Yeah, very much so. He's had a nice quiet trial at Matter in between, and I think he goes in cherry ripe.
Kiwi Skyhawk's also been to the trials. It looked to be a pretty encouraging trial as well. What do you make of it?
Yeah, just had a nice quiet day out. I think he's a sort of horse, maybe a fresh mile will really suit. He'll... I think he's going to be better this time when he gets up over further, like he's going to be set for the Derby, but I just think fresh up mile, he might give a bit of cheek.
Okay, and Balsan's the other one. Another horse who's on the rise.
On the rise, mile's probably a bit shorter, even though he won at a mile last time. I just think it's going to be probably, maybe that 12 or 13 horse field, which will suit him. And, he's got to be a live chance. He's galloped this morning as well, and certainly can't fault the way he's going.
Okay, of the three, is there one you're leaning?
Yeah, I think Bourbon Proof. I think he's just a bit sharper than the other horse at the mile, and I'm certainly leaning towards him.
Could all three of them be Derby horses for you?
I absolutely think they could be. They're all nominated for the Derby, and that's the direction they're going. And look, you've got the Derby and the Kiwi on the same day, so if one slid off to the Kiwi, you wouldn't be too worried about that.
Railway this weekend as well. Mercurial, so competitive in this race last year. How's he building up to this year's race?
Going terrific. I thought his run in the Telegraph was good, just caught wide. But it was still nice to the line, even on an off track. I think Ellerslie will suit him more. Needs a good track, but it's going to be a ripper field. He's going to have to be right on his game and even a little bit better.
You'd expect to see him a little bit closer to the speed this weekend than what we did at Trentham and Picking?
Very much so. If he could draw a gate, we'll definitely be putting him right up on speed.
Stephen Bourbon proceeds to the Aotearoa Classic this weekend. Terrific in the Ritual Mile. How's she done since?
Done beautifully. She had a quiet little let up, a few quiet days. We've trialled her at Matter in between, and cart right in the saddle, and I thought she just trolled up beautiful. Just looks to be a mare that just keeps on improving. She's galloped this morning, galloped up very well. I think she's right on track.
I guess you've got real confidence out of that race, the way the Provence has gone on, so it must give you pretty good confidence going to this one.
Yeah, it was a good field and good form out of it, obviously, as you say, with Provence winning a Group 1 afterwards. But yeah, just good. This mare, it's obviously a Prassier mare, and she just keeps going ahead and leaps and bounds, and loved her trial the other day and loved everything about her work since, and she loves Ellerslie, and she can draw a good gate. It'll be ideal.
You go in two-handed. I think Imperial Empress goes in as well. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, she's just been a bit green and new. She's just very talented, but she's just not putting it all together. We're putting the blinkers on. Wiremu Pin takes the reins again, and you have to take her on trust, but her work's been good, and we're hopeful. She's just been a little bit sort of in and out, but hopefully the blinkers sharpen her up.
Sounds like Bourbon Empress, your top seed though.
I think she definitely is, just the way she's sort of putting it all together and the way she's going.
Put the onus on you for the El Mentor Trophy. You could be as many as 4 in that race. Just tell us who they are and how they're going.
Yeah, we'll nominate 4. Four decent chances. I mean, these are the nights you want plenty of runners. I'm all in. He's been racing very well. He got beaten by the older horses last start, just beaten on the line. He's going really well. I think draws will come right into play here. She's untouchable. She's had the 2 starts for a win and a black type placing at Ellerslie, so she's had a quiet trial leading into this. She's also going extremely well. Filly gives a look. She's a bit disappointing last start, but work's been very good. She's a well-bred filly, half to Pulchritudinous. So I'd love a bit of black type with her, but having a real throughout the stumps. And Ardalio, an Ardrossan filly, she got beaten a nose at Ellerslie last start. I think she's got plenty of ability. Work's been super, and yeah, she's the 4th bow to our string, or string to our bow.
How have they prepared? Obviously, it's a fair team to have going for a 3-year-old sprint. But they've prepared to your satisfaction.
Yeah, look, all 1-win horses, all going well. There's going to be some nice horses in it. We're certainly saying we're having a real throughout the stumps, but they've all worked well and they all deserve their chance.
Can you give us the top seed of those?
Maybe Ardalio, just the way she went last start in the field she ran in, and the way she's worked, maybe her on top.
Robert Orchestral heads to Karaka Millions night, a night that's been so successful for her. How's she preparing for the Aotearoa Classic?
Yeah, it'd be nice to get back there and see her first past the post again. She's come through her last run well. She obviously had a lot of weight. She still ran good sectional times. I think she broke 34 the last 600. So probably couldn't have expected much more than what she did, and we're really happy with her heading to the mile.
What's she done in preparation for this on the training track?
She worked over 1,400 metres this morning, was really nice. As I say, we're really happy with her at home, and it'd just be good to see her back up over the mile.
Going to this race, could you have her any better?
No, I think we're as I say, really happy with her. We're right where we want to be, and getting back to the mile is going to be the key with her, and back at set weights.
Dealt with pretty good last weekend, heading towards the Karaka Millions 3-year-old Classic. How's he come through the race?
Yeah, we're hoping. It's obviously very early doors. He only raced on Sunday, so we sort of want to have every minute up our sleeve to make a firm decision on whether we run or not. But he's an unbeaten horse, and it'd be remiss not to try and go 3 in a row in the Karaka Millions 3-year-old mile.
Yeah, first impressions on how he's come through it?
Yeah, we're happy enough, but as I say, he only raced the other day, so really we want to have a really good look at him over the next few days and before we sort of make any plans. But whether he heads to this race or not, he's a nice horse going forward. Yeah,
I just wanted to check in. How highly do you rate him?
Well, it's pretty hard not to rate him highly after he's won 2 and still doing things wrong. But, probably the Kiwis, the race with a big ring around it. We'd love to get a run in that. And whether we get to this, Karaka Million Mile or another race in between is yet to be seen. But as I say, we'd love to go 3 in a row in the 3-year-old mile.
If you do roll the dice, you'd have weighed up everything. What could you be expecting?
Again, you've probably got to wait to see till you see barrier draws and things. It is going to be a nice field. He stepped up his second start, but this is going to be another step up again. So he'd have to put his best foot forward, but he has improved in both his starts thus far.
Shaune, you just watched Tuxedo work in preparation for the Karaka Millions 3-year-old classic. How'd he go?
He went terrific. I think we're peaking him for this race, so he's in fantastic order. He's gonna take some beating. He probably wants a shower of rain. He doesn't like the tracks too hard. So if we get that, then he's going to run well for sure.
He's a real up and comer, and obviously that field has fallen away. You must be really happy with the lead up to this race.
Yeah, that's right. Probably at Ellerslie last time, he didn't jar up at all after his it was first time he was beaten when he ran second to the Derby favourite. But he, obviously lets down a little bit better with that sting out of the track, and looks like we're going to get that. So if that's the case, then he should let down very well.
Yep. Leading to this, could you be any happier with him?
I don't think so. I think we're going to peak him on Saturday, so we'll see the best version of him for sure.
Who rides this weekend, Shaune?
Joe Doyle's going to ride him again. He's stuck with him all the way through. I think the key with him is getting him to settle early. Hopefully there's a bit of pace in the race, and if that's the case, he's a big horse. He can make some room for himself and hit the line hard.
Tony Poetic Champions just worked this morning. How did he go?
Yeah, look, he's flying. He's come back great this preparation, a lot stronger horse, and obviously he beat the older horses at Ellerslie last start. Admittedly, it's probably going to be a lot stronger race on Saturday, but gets in very well at the weights on 53 kilos, so yeah, it's something you're giving consideration to, and obviously barrier draws will be key on Saturday, but yeah, the older horses, we've got a good solid line of sprinters, but they are mixing their form, so it'll be interesting to see how the 3-year-olds match up on Saturday.
Has his build-up been basically to your satisfaction?
Yeah, very much so. He hasn't put a foot wrong right throughout this preparation. Obviously, he was good in the spring. The sprint distances, the Hawke's Bay Guineas was just probably a furlong too far for him. So, yeah, I think the Railway's a nice race for him to test him at Group 1 level.
I guess the alternative is the Elmerslie Draw Trophy. If you go that way, what could you expect of him there?
Yeah, look, obviously he's one of the more dominant sprinting 3-year-olds we've got. So, you'd suggest he'd be extremely competitive in that race. Obviously, he'd be carrying a little bit more weight, and he's not an overly big horse. But yeah, as I say, he's in great form at the moment, and if he runs in that race, he'll be hard to beat.
I guess that way you do dodge the other 3-year-olds with Alabama Lass and Captured by Life going that way. Does it have any bearing on your thinking?
Not really. I think the two fillies are obviously very classy fillies in their own right, but yeah, like I think the sprinting 3-year-olds, they're a pretty handy bunch, and they just get such a good pull on the weights. I think it's worth a crack.
Could have another couple in that race. Thuza and also Boston High Heels. How are they tracking?
Yeah, look, Thuza, obviously she won 2 in a row, and then her first run at Ellerslie and ran third the other day. She'll improve off that. Look, admittedly, it's going to be a lot stronger race on Saturday, but if she could draw a soft gate and get a soft trip near the speed, she could be a place chance. And Boston High Heels, she's come back a lot stronger this preparation, trialled nicely at Matamata, and look, it'd be great if she could sneak a placing for Brenton Cherry.
I'm picking if Poetic Champion goes there, he's the top seed of your 3?
Oh, look, at this stage, obviously, he's been there and done that in a number of good races throughout the season, so he'd definitely have to be the number 1 pick.
Okay, Woodend heads towards the Aotearoa Classic. How's he gone since we saw him last?
Yeah, look, disappointing last start, but they probably went a little bit quick early. I do think he's, even though he's won and led and won, he's a lot better horse just being held up. His T-Rapa run before that showed that. So, look, he's a talented horse. He mixes his form a touch, but we'll probably ride him a lot colder on Saturday. And if he gets all favours, he's definitely got the ability to win a race like that.
What have you asked of him in training in the lead up to this one?
Him and Aquarello just galloped together this morning, worked very well with Michael and Matt on board, and couldn't be happy with the way they're both going.
Aquarello heads to the Westbury Classic. You rated her work as well by the sound of it.
Yeah, she's come back great. She's just an improving, progressive mare. She's come a long way this prep this season, and obviously a stakes winner at Riccarton, and then won nicely fresh up at Ellerslie the other day, and she'll take a lot of improvement off that as well. So she'll go into this race very fit, and if it's not Saturday, it might be next year. But she's a quality mare, and she deserves a chance on Saturday.
She's bounced through that Royal Descent win to your liking? Yeah,
very much so. She's a big, strong girl, and she's pretty easy to train, to be fair. It's once you've got a fit, it makes things a wee bit easier, but lovely mare, and I'm sure she'll run well.
Yeah, it's going to be a stronger race, isn't it? But where can she sort of fit into this?
Yeah, look, again, it's going to be a stronger race, but she seems to raise the bar each time she goes to the races. Admittedly, it was hard to get a line off that small field at Ellerslie last start, but she did it well. She'll improve again off that. As I said, she's a big mare and takes a few runs to hit peak fitness. So, look, if she gets a soft trip, she'll be right there on the finish.
Ben Babylon Berlin heads to the Railway this weekend. Of course, the race has been so close in the past. How's she building into this one?
Very happy with her. Aidan, she trialled up very well at Matamata, and she seems to be quite susceptible to a infection in her throat, but we seem to be right on top of that now. So, Vinny and he was very happy with her at the trials.
You galloped here today. What did you make of her gallop this morning?
Yeah, she's done some quite strong work. She's a good doing mare, and she worked very well. So couldn't be happier leading into this week.
Being in the field of this quality, what can you expect of her on Saturday?
Yeah, well, if she's on top of her game, she's a good mare, and she'll run time. So I have no doubt that they'll know she's here.
Big of luck heads to the Karaka Millions 2-year-old race. You took the opportunity to gallop the horse at Ellerslie last week. What did you make of that?
Yeah, well, he's just a really good, tough sort of 2-year-old. He's probably not the best horse in the race, but he's been to Ellerslie a few times. He's very experienced, and if he gets a good barrier draw, he's a real top 5 chance.
Yep. Outside that Ellerslie gallop, what's the build-up been like?
He's just had. He's had a bit of time off here and there, but you put him in the paddock for a couple of days and he runs around like an idiot. So he loves being in work. He thrives, and he's just a very sound horse. And we're looking forward to Saturday.
Going into this race, what are your expectations?
Like I say, he's been around Ellerslie a few times. He's had a couple of gallops up there, and he really knows what he's doing and where he's going. So we think he's a genuine top 5 chance.
Andrew, obviously Waitak back to defend his title in a railway. How's he going?
Yeah, really good. Look, we had a bit of a blip down there at Tarapa, slow recovery, down on the worst of the ground. Travelling that far from home, might have just caught him up with him a little bit. But back around the corner, back at Ellerslie, his run pre to Wellington was super. If he mimics that, he's going to be close. He's one of these sort of horses that's always competitive at this grade. We think we've got him right, and he's going very well. He looks great in conditions. So there's a good gallop there on Saturday.
What was the ask of them in training leading into it?
We gave him a wee breeze this morning. We just wanted to stimulate him up and keep him up on his toes, and he's doing very well. So we've just kept the work up to him, and he's certainly there with us, and he's a healthy horse and really sound. And he's been doing a wee bit of pony jumping this week, so he's light and breezy, and we're hoping he's really going to crack on.
Can you compare him in condition to last year?
He's done a lot more racing going into this year, but we think he's going as good. But look, it's a lot of his chances rely on pace and race, and if they get along, he'll finish stronger than most.
Moss Invader here's to the Aotearoa Classic. How's this horse doing?
Yeah, we're having a wee bit of a throw at the stumps with him. Look, New Year's Day, second quickest last 600 of the day, quickest land speed. He's got a good gallop. We've always sort of held him in pretty high regard. Reality is he's probably a top 4 chance, but not without being it. He's a horse that has improved a lot, trialled here last week and trialled enormous. Going well, trained well this morning, just went 5 home 3 quietly. He's fit and ready to go. But no, he could come with a good gallop there. We're expecting to be competitive.
Elmen's Trophy, Scotty, and you've got Shiha and Hanky Alpha, who's been going really nicely. How's she doing?
Yeah, she's obviously had the 2 starts for 2 wins and just been away a little bit there from the races, but she trialled on well here at Matamata last week. George Rorke aboard, he knows her now. She's got a brilliant turn of foot when she turns it on. And, in her own age, it's going to be a very hot field, but we expect her to quicken well. And, look, she's been away for a bit, but the trial last week and a good bit of work there this morning. She had a nice hit out there with Prosegur and worked on well. We're expecting her to come back with, fresh legs and quicken well.
What about Shiha?
Yeah, he looked ever impressive in his debut. Then he was just a little bit away here at Matamata. Back to the 1200. We've sort of charged his batteries. Rory rode him here in his trial last Tuesday. Worked trial particularly well. And we've changed a little bit of gear with him. And we think with the noseband tongue tie, he's going to breathe, he's going to quicken. And he's a real outsider, but wouldn't surprise us if he was right in on the finish.
What are your expectations with this pair going on?
Yeah, we want them to be right there. We want performances that are, hopefully black-type performances. We're under no illusion they're in very strong fields, but, we think highly of them. They're fit, they've got no excuses, they should be right in it.
Prosegur heads to the Karaka Millions 3-year-old Classic. He's right in this, right?
Yeah, she's probably our best chance of the night. We're sort of going in there with not raging hot favourites or anything, but her run at on Boxing Day was good. She was exposed for a fair while there, and she maintained a good strong gallop to the line. She's another what's going to be in an even field. But, if things go her way, Craig Williams aboard, he's going to give her a nice ride. She's a talented filly, and she'll run a strong mile, and she's up to them, and she knows her way around Ellerslie. So, no, we're hoping she'll run really well.
What have you asked of her in training in the week leading?
Look, we've had her out and about a wee bit. She was up at Ellerslie Sunday week ago, just Sunday gone. She was up at Pukekohe and just race day stimulation and walking around and keeping her tight because she hasn't had a run since since Boxing Day. Had a nice hit out there this morning, and Craig Restrick, who rides her normally, he got off and gave her a glowing report, and he knows what he's talking about. So no, she's working well and not without a chance.
Cody Landlock heads to the Karaka Millions 2-year-old this weekend. How's he doing?
Look, really happy with him. We took him up on Friday for a look around Ellerslie. He's very professional. Rory Hutchings is riding him. He's very happy with him. And we just went nicely in company this morning. Didn't ask him too much. He's pretty clean-winded and pretty ready. So he worked nicely and, happy as.
He's lightly tried going into a Karaka Millions, isn't he? But that's by design.
Yeah, look, he's an improving type as well. It was his first run on a good track down there at Trentham in the Wakefield, and he would take a lot from that, and he seems to be just stepping up all the time. It's a pretty open million, and it's always a hustle and bustle race, so a bit of luck on the day. But look, he's going as well as he can. We're happy with him.
Has everything gone to plan? Everything's been plain sailing?
Absolutely. You couldn't have scripted it better. He's a real cool little customer. Nothing really worries him, and he's taking all of his stride. And like I say, he's stepping up.
What sort of expectations are you going in with, Cody?
Look, it's hard to go into a race like that with expectations, and obviously a horse that we're still learning a lot about. But we can only be happy with how he's going and be confident that he's taking steps in the right direction, and he's doing that.
Pam Romanoff heads to the Karaka Millions 2-year-old on Saturday. How's he doing?
Yeah, really happy with him. I think he's come on since his race last time. Didn't go as good as what we thought he might, but not worried about it. He'd had a little bit of a cough going into it, and just the experience of going to Auckland, and I think he's come out of it on the right side.
Obviously, the win before that was really good. It gives you the confidence. He's worth having a shot at this, isn't he?
Oh, 100. He's a horse with a lot of ability. He showed that at the trials when he came out up against some quite a good 2-year-olds and went on a one, and just been working him out. He's a thinker. Probably needs gelding, but I think we've got him right now. Blinkers go on, and it's been the change on him.
What have you asked of him in training in the lead up to this Saturday?
Just usual work. He'll have a nice hit out tomorrow, and 2-year-olds are natural runners, so not too much, but just enough to keep his head in the right place.
Going into it, what are your expectations, Pam?
I think he can really put on a big race. We were really confident going into Auckland and got down on the fence, got a bit tight and squeezed, and doesn't really like being around the other horses, so he didn't get a lot of room, and I think he just spat the dummy a wee bit, but his work with the blinkers on has been way improved, just even in his pace work, so don't be surprised if he could turn his form around. He's a very fast horse. Also, the Aotearoa Classic, you've got Pericles heading in that direction. How's he doing? Yeah, really happy with him. He's sort of had a bit of an up and down season and just hasn't had things go his way. Wide draws, but I know we're going to get a good draw on Saturday. So his work this morning, I just came out smiling. I had tingles going down the back of my spine for a wee while, so I just think he's back on form, and I don't think he's out of this race at all. I think he can be a huge chance if we get a nice draw.
What have you done with him since that last race?
Yeah, he just does a lot of pace work, and we space his races nicely, and like he won well. Maybe wasn't much of a field at Te Rapa, but I think he got his confidence back, and all it's been is just getting bad draws all season, so hopefully we won't get that Saturday.
Graham Bonaglass heads to the railway this weekend. How's she going?
Worked up nice this morning. Her run at Wellington was very good, a much improved run, and in the worst of the ground too, so anyone that was on the inside didn't probably go quite as well as her, so I was very happy with that.
Okay, what about in the lead up to this? What have you asked of her in prep?
Well, she's had a couple of hit-outs, obviously, not too many, but she worked up nice this morning. She's run really well and went the line good. Had a bit of a blow, but might do a little bit with her on Thursday morning. We'll just see, and hopefully we get a good draw for Saturday.
Unlucky in this race last year. What are your expectations this time?
Well, all of us are expecting to win, but it'd be so nice. And she deserves it.
Cracking railway field. Jesus, would be one of the best fields for the railway in recent years.
Oh, in recent years, yeah, sure. I've seen many good fields in the railway. We've had some good sprinters over the years. I could name a lot of them, but Mr. Tiz and all them. So, in recent years, yeah, it's a very good field.
Where to for her safely through a railway?
She might go. I think it's King's Plate, and then maybe to Australia. I've got to talk to Brent Cooper about that, and we'll just confirm this is probably the last season of racing. So we just want to make sure she's happy and she's healthy, and it's so important.
Romilly also heads to Ellerslie this weekend. Could be in either of two races, the Karaka Millions 3-year-old or the Old Man's All Trophy. Is the sprint your preference, Graham?
Well, possibly, yeah. I mean, it's a hard one. I mean, she's worked up extremely well this morning. I'm going to nominate for both. The main reason is, will she get in the Old Man's All? I'm not sure. It's going to be a hot field. They tell me that the mile's falling away, and so a bit up in the air at the moment. I'll certainly talk to Connections today. And I know it sounds a bit strange nominating for a 12 and a 1600, but she's a 3-year-old and they don't need a lot of work.
Yeah, what did you ask of her in training today?
She worked up over 1,000 metres and worked up really well. So I was more than happy. Her and her mate worked up probably the best of the morning.
Okay, on what we've seen of her, she's got immense ability. What can you be expecting when you turn her out on Saturday?
Well, I expect a good draw this time. She never draws well. And it was a massive effort at Wanganui. Had no luck at all at Ellerslie, and couldn't get a line on that race at all over a mile. So that was that's the turning point. If she has another hard run over a mile, I'm going to have to tip her out after this because she'll be a bit tired. And she's still growing and filling out, but a real nice horse for the future.
Ken Alabama Lasses, just work today. What did you ask of her in training this morning?
She ran a nice 1,000 metres on the course proper on the rail. Nice track. Just had a fair bit of water put on it yesterday, so no, it was lovely work. Sam came down and worked her, so no, very happy.
What was her feedback?
No, very, very pleasing. She ran in just over a minute, 109, and come home in about 34.8, so just travelled through the line, so no, she was very happy.
How happy have you been with her build up into this race, Ken?
Yeah, no, very happy. I thought her trial at Matamata was good. She's done everything right. She's fantastic in the feed bin. She's seems bright and happy. So no, we're quite happy going into this.
When did the railway come on the radar for you?
Sort of early on. Sort of tossed up whether to go to Riccarton or not. Decided to sort of roll the dice and go to Riccarton, try on a mile. Unluckily, she got a wet track. Sam's adamant that we had been on the rail and got a reasonable track. Would have gone close because they raced well off the rail, and I think they run 138, so which indicated it was sort of a slow 7, slow 8 track. So after that, we thought, well, we'll just get her home and sort of see where how she does and everything. She had 3 weeks spell out at Henley Park in Cambridge, came back and then worked up steadily, and as I say, had the trial on Tuesday.
You've done this before with a 3-year-old filly. Is she the right horse to be winning a railway this weekend?
I'll tell you after Saturday. Similar sort of types. I mean, bounding. They're actually, it's quite canny how they're sort of just about identical. They both won the gold trial. Then they won the soliloquy. I think bounding might have won the Annie Sarton a couple of days earlier, and then run second in the 1,000 guineas. So yeah, similar types. Hey, but it's a big ask to take on the older horses, but she comes into it quite nicely with 52 on her back. So we're happy to roll the dice, and she's already a Group 2 winner, a Group 3 winner. So the ultimate prize is to try and get that Group 1. So no, we're happy to be there, and we'll let the horse sort of tell us that we were happy to be there, and I'm pretty sure we are. So on the work this morning, so no, we're lucky enough to have one good enough to run in it again.
Sam, big night for Tiako at Karaka Millions meeting on Saturday at Ellerslie. First of all, let's talk the railway, Captured by Love. Obviously, something different, a 3-year-old into the race. How's she going?
Yeah, she's in good form. She's freshened up well since Riccarton. I thought her trial there the other day at Matamata for Blake was really good. We gave her a good solid hit out. She certainly needed it, had a good blow afterwards, but she stripped a lot fitter. Her work here this morning was really good in company. Opie rode her this morning and was really pleased with her. So the blinkers will go on Karaka Million night. We think that'll sharpen her up back to the 1200. Sort of Opie's worked her a lot throughout her whole campaign. We've always sort of thought blinkers, but going up to the mile we haven't utilised them, so now's a good chance. It's going to come up a very good field, we think. There's obviously Alabama Lass and then a couple of really good older, weight for age sprinters there. So it's going to be an interesting race, but we're happy with it.
Yeah, what can you expect of her, like you say, in such a quality field?
Yeah, look, we think she'll run well. Whether, she wins, I suppose it's going to come down to barrier draws and luck on the night and things like that. We think she's certainly capable of winning. Look, she's a really grouse mare. She goes out there and puts her all in. She really goes a bad race. And, she's a Group 1 winner. So, we think she's up to it. But fingers crossed on the night we can have some luck.
Lightweight, who'd you get to ride?
Craig Williams. So, obviously really pleased to have him over. He's riding in fantastic form and watched one of his winners in Hong Kong the other night. He's riding super. So, like I say, it'll come down to rides on the night when we're pleased to have him on.
Skew with not going towards the railway, instead going to the Westbury Classic, I guess, following what you do with the Imperatrice to some degree, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Just speaking to Luke sort of post-Telegraph as well, he thought she raced a bit like a 1400 horse. She didn't really have the zip of that sprint down there at Wellington, and her 1400 record's really good, and we think that's sort of her pet distance going forward. It looks at another very even race on paper, but she's in good form. Her work was super here for Opie this morning, so she's in the right track.
What did you ask of her in training today?
She just went a nice 1,000 by herself. She's pretty tough, hard going sort of mare, and does enough by herself, but was really solid work.
She going well enough to be winning a Westbury this weekend?
Oh, for sure, we think so. Like I say, 1400 really suits. Happy to have Blake Shin aboard as well. Would love to draw a nice soft gate and just sort of land there. But look, again, barrier draws and the such will come down to a couple of results on the night, we think. But she's in good form.
What you wish for heads to the Aotearoa Classic. How's he going?
Yeah, he's a bit of a funny horse. On his day, we think he's capable. He's sort of a bit in and out at times. That was running the ritual, he just had no luck, drew a wide gateway to go back and rode him for luck, and he just had none. So, look, like we say, on his day, he's more than capable. He's rattled off some really good performances over the past sort of 6 to 12 months. Another one, we'd love a gate. And an even enough field, I suppose, or Kestrel, the favourite there, and it's quite even outside of that, so another nice chance.
What's he done in the build-up to this?
We've kept him really fresh, actually. He hasn't done a lot this week so far. We're just going to give him one gallop tomorrow on the course proper. We won't do too much with him. We think that's the key to him. Keep him guessing as well. He's a bit of a thinker, so he's doing a lot of different things, a bit of jumping and things like that, keeping him honest and on his toes, but he seems bright and well.
The match grows heads to the 3-year-old Karaka Millions 3-year-old Classic. How's she going?
Yeah, she's in good form. Another one that trialled here at Matamata. Blake was really pleased with her. Would love to draw a barrier and just sort of lob her there. I suppose on face value, the Auckland Guineas was probably disappointing, but she got a long way off them, and the race never really changed from around the corner. So blinkers go on. We trialled her in blinkers last week. It sort of sharpened her up a bit. And it was a good solid piece of work here this morning, so another one in good form.
Yeah, what was the purpose of the trial, really, just to tune her up for this?
Yeah, for sure, just a bit between runs. She doesn't take a lot, but just kept her ticking over, and obviously on her home track as well, no travel was key, we thought. But she's come through the trial well. It's stripped fitter up to the mile, blinkers on, and a good solid piece of work here. We think hopefully she's on track.
She ran so well on this night last year. Can she go one better?
Yeah, we hope so. Look, it's she's come up as favourite. It's probably a field a little bit light at this stage. It's sort of hard to know what's going to be in it really. But she's in good form. We'd love to go that one better this time. We've been patient with her. We could have pressed on to the 1,000 guineas after, Hawke's Bay, but we've tipped her out with the goal of this and obviously onto the slot race as well. So fingers crossed some patience can be paid off.
Move to strike, Group 1 winner. He'll go around in the El Mansour Trophy. How's he going?
Yeah, he's in good form. His trial was a lot better last time. He was a bit plain in December in the group enlisted trial, but he was just a bit big and burly, we think. He's had an exhibition gallop. We've sort of kept it up to him. He's copping the work really well. He's really thriving on it. His trial here was very good for Blake. So he's obviously had a bit of adversity in his career so far. So Look, we've run every test on him possible. We can't fault him here at home, so fingers crossed that, you never know till you're back out there on race day, I suppose, but he's in good form.
Yeah, I guess a lot of that, you just put it faith in, and we know he's got top-end ability, right?
Oh, for sure. He's a Group 1 winner at 2, and that was a fabulous performance, beating, some really quality horses like Savagely. So, we'd love to run up to that form. Another field that looks sharp enough. It'll be interesting to see what Poetic Champion does, and there's some quality 3-year-olds from the Wexford and things like that. So, we'd love to draw a barrier and lob there, but he's in good form.
The Karaka Million 2-year-olds race at Te Ako's made its own over the years. Possibly 3, maybe 4 runners in this year. How are they prepared for this?
Yeah, look, it's quite an open race. We think it's sort of hard, a lot of different form lines and things like that. It's sort of hard to line them up, I suppose, but we're really happy with our 3, potentially 4. They're going to have a gallop here on the rail tomorrow, just the one gallop this week. They're pretty fit and ready to go. But To Bravery Born was really good. That's historically been a really good form race, that sort of Twilight Sunday meeting race. He's bounced through the run. You certainly can't fault him. La Dorada was good in the Eclipse. Visor blinkers go on just to sharpen her up a bit. She's still a little bit new, but she'll take great benefit from that. And Beldamon will just ride her a little bit colder. She's obviously not a winner yet, but she's gone 2 really good races. Ride her a bit colder, and I think you'll see her hitting the line strong. She's a lovely, big, sort of scopy filly. Who seems in good form, and looking forward to seeing them out in the rail here tomorrow. And then obviously Dear to Prasia, he's on the ballot, but he was really good last time in the To Bravery Born race, and he's another one that's come through the run well and can't fault him. So fingers crossed.
Just going back to Bravery Born, there was no real gate speed that day. Is that was that just an anomaly, or how will he sort of settle into this one?
Yeah, I suppose it's funny you say that. Again, barrier draws will play a massive part. We wouldn't want to see him sort of out the back of 14 runners, that's for sure. And we think he can put himself there. He was probably a touch slow away at Wanganui as well. But look, we'd love to sort of get the barrier, lob sort of 3 or 4 back or something like that. But he's a pretty laid-back sort of character. I don't think much would worry him. Wherever you put him, he'd go to sleep. And like I say, he's come through the run super order. So, he's a really nice horse going forward.
On the trio, 3 months ago, who would you have had on top, and who have you got on top now?
That's a very good question. I suppose La Dorada from Te Rapa, we thought she was the one back then, and To Bravery Born, we had him ready to go at Pukekohe, and he twinged a muscle, and we thought we were no chance at getting here, So he's done phenomenally well, and his win was super there without a trial. I think he'll take great benefit from that run, so I'd probably lean his way, but I wouldn't be surprised at any of them, really.
Hollie, massive achievement getting 2 in the Karaka Million. How satisfied are you with that?
Yeah, really proud. I mean, we're a small stable, but everyone here is just incredible, my staff and everyone who helps me, and massive thanks to all of them to get them there, really.
Yeah. How have they both presented and prepared for this weekend?
Yeah, brilliant. We tried them up last week and couldn't fault them. They're really well on song for what they need to do. Okay,
let's talk Toretto for starters. What have you made of his journey to here?
He's probably been not a natural 2-year-old the whole way through, but he's just really starting to go the right way now. He's sort of a little bit shinny early, like in his first race, and a little bit weak, but just the last 3 weeks he's just flourished and he's just thriving.
What about his training in the lead up to this? What have you asked of him in the final week?
Not a lot, really. I mean, they're both pretty up to the mark. They've had a bit of racing now. They know their job, and they're only babies. So, we don't have to do a lot with them. Just keep them sound, keep them happy, and get them there.
Yeah, Sierra Leone, maybe a little bit more of a 2-year-old type. What'd you take there?
Yeah, definitely. She's definitely a 2-year-old type. She hasn't been shin sore. She just thrives on everything. She doesn't need the paddock. She just does everything really easily.
You must be really stoked with the way she's built up, because every run has been, solid, and she seems really willing too. What's her makeup?
Yeah, she's been a bit of she's a filly, so she's definitely sort of making her own sort of plan and plotting her own path in the race, but we sort of tried to put her on speed a couple of times and that didn't really work, so we've just decided to leave her alone, let her run where she's happy, which seems to be out the back, and I'm guessing she'll get back a little bit in the Karaka Millions, hopefully a little bit handier than what she was last start, but she's obviously got a good turn of foot and likes to run home late.
Pretty cool having 2 runners. What can you hope for now in the race?
First and second would be great. Don't think that's going to happen, but hey, we'll try. But just that they both run well, both hopefully get a good barrier draw, and just great to have 2 in the race.
Who's your top seed, Hollie?
Oh, it's hard to split them. I mean, I like Toretto. He's tough. Anything that happens, he can just cop it and get on with it. But she's probably a bit more of a natural 2-year-old and probably a slightly quicker turn of foot. So just hope they're both there in the finish.
Ryan Solidify heads to the Aotearoa Classic on Saturday. What have you made of his build up to it?
It was a super run at Taupo. Track was a little bit hard and he got around there nicely, but his run last up was quite nice. A little bit of a soft run with Bailey on top, but he's going to come into this race quite nicely with the weather that's coming.
Yeah, how highly do you rate him?
He's well up there. He should weigh in definitely top tier chance in that race. But he's got good Ellerslie form, so that suits well.
Okay, what's the word from the Richardson camp about how he's going?
Roger, he's always confident, so got to rely on him and take his word for it.
Telluride in prep in the Westbury Classic on Saturday. How's the horse going?
Yeah, no, she's been going really good. Her work's been perfect, and really looking forward to it.
It's going to be a really strong field. What can you expect from her?
I think she's been running in really good races with some top horses, so hopefully a luck with the draw, and I think she will go a really good race.
And for you, a pretty cool opportunity to ride for the first time Karaka Millions. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, no, I'm ecstatic. No, it'll be good.